happened between those two prayers left years of mental trauma. I was encouraged to fight against brokenness as a gay man, and I was to acknowledge that because of this brokenness, I was emotionally dependent on other men. I grew to despise my parents, especially my mother, who I was being taught to see as an overbearing figure in my life that caused me to develop unwanted same-sex attractions. In one session, my therapist berated my mother in front of me, telling her that she was so overbearing and needed to let me go, and that this is not about you, this is about your son and what you caused. Thankfully, we restored our relationship, and she's actually here with me today. Because of these experiences, I stand before you a survivor, one of about 700,000. If you have ever met others like me, you will quickly find that we have many commonalities. We have lifelong trauma, for example, that follows us everywhere. And sometimes even the simplest of life events can trigger us. This scarring has caused us to miss out on many years of our lives that could have been so much better had we never stepped into this ex-gay lifestyle. We have grown to know one emotion all too well: shame. One survivor, Garrett Conley, writes in his memoir, "It was our fear of shame followed by our fear of hell that truly prevented us from committing suicide." And lastly, we have a general distrust of the mental health community, and it is for this very reason that it took me 8 years before I finally sought help. Through real affirmative therapy, I finally found what the ex-gay lifestyle falsely promised me: freedom. I have reconciled with my past, and I've taken my life back, and this was the type of therapy that I needed all along. And you may be wondering, if there's so many of us, where is everyone? Talking about this topic is so traumatizing and triggering that so many people just wish we could forget it ever happened and we remain silent. But I wish I could stand in a crowd of survivors in meetings such as this one. But this pain makes that impossible to be a reality. Lastly, when I remember my time in conversion therapy, I'm thankful that I was 18 and I could get out. But children do not have that freedom, especially if having a roof over their head depends on it, and especially if a pastor or religious community is telling their parents that this is what's needed. That's why it's so important that these licensed professionals are held accountable if they take part in this type of mental and emotional abuse. So I want to say thank you so much for taking time to consider regulation against this antiquated and shaming practice known as conversion therapy. Thank you.
Sessions, she wanted to talk to me as well. I was proud. I was like, yay, she wants to talk to me, Adam together. No, not a clue that I was going into dinner pools. And I told her, I said, I really worry about Adam when he leaves the house, that if he's depressed, that he's gonna try to kill himself again. And she said, this is not about you. This is about what you caused. Okay, this is a Christian counselor. And I know God does not want children to hate their mother, hate their father. God wants children to love their parents. And conversion therapy is such a bad thing. It just needs to be outlawed in Virginia. And again, I just want to thank everybody for listening to me, and I'm very, very proud of